Welcome to the show and thanks for tuning in. And as you know, our Miami Hurricanes have a big game on Saturday against NC State. Every game from here on out is a big game. The CFP has laid it out for us. If we win out, we can set ourselves up for a true shot at getting into the college football playoffs. And this is a game, just like the last four games, that hypothetically, with a double-digit point spread, Miami should go in and beat their opponent and handle them, especially with the talent they have on both sides of the ball. But in the last four games, all these games have been double-digit spreads, and the Miami Hurricanes have struggled to generate offense and have even lost two of them against SMU and Louisville. We know this. And against NC State, my concern, of course, is the offense, and the offense is slowness to get started. NC State has beat two currently ranked teams this season, and they just beat Georgia Tech recently in their last game, 48-36. Their offense is explosive. CJ Bailey can make plays with his legs, with his arm. They can do it all. They got Hollywood Smothers, their running back. He's good. He's going to be back this game. And the Miami Hurricanes are weak at DB. Keontae Scott and OJ Federico, our two best DBs, will be out this game. So that concerns me. I know this defense is good. I know what this defense can do with their edge rushers getting pressure on the quarterback. I understand that. But there's a point that they bend. They can bend. Every defense can bend. And NC State, I expect them to put up points with their two best DBs out. You know, that's a concern. But how do you counter that? How do you counter a team putting up points? You put up points with your offense. But yet the Miami Hurricanes have not really shown their ability to really have that explosive offense. You know, in their two losses against SMU and Louisville, their offense was the issue in the loss. And yes, we put up 38 against Syracuse last week, and we put up 40 against Stanford. But those are two horrendous ACC teams. We should have been doing that earlier in the game. The concern is the start of the offense. Can we play with energy to start the game? Can we play with aggressive play calling to start the game on Shannon Dawson's end? And that's the concern that I have for this game, truthfully. Because NC State is no joke of a team. They might be 5-4, but as I said, they beat two ranked teams. Put up 48 against Georgia Tech. They lost to Pitt, but they put up 34. You know, their offense has been pretty decent. You know, in this offense in our Miami Hurricanes offense should be able to do their thing with explosive plays passing. With explosive passing plays, we have CJ Daniels coming back. That's a plus. So now we can have CJ Daniels, Malachi Toney again, that too. And then Keelan Marion has been playing really, really good. He had a 60-yard touchdown last week. Hopefully he continues to play at that level. Maybe we mix in a little JoJo Trader back, even though CJ Daniels is coming back. He didn't have a great game last week, but I do like what I see. I still am confident in him, and I still think he's a great and outstanding player. But as I said, we should be able to do our thing with explosive plays through the passing game this game. NC State's defense, 127th in yards per game. Passing yards per game. Passing yards per game. Sorry. They are dead last in the country. Dead last. And just opponent yards per game in total, they're 127th. They're not good. Their pass defense is not good. We can burn them. We can do our thing. But the problem is, can we come out with that energy? And can we come out with the aggressive play calling? As we've seen against Syracuse in that second quarter, when we had that electric play with Malachi Toney passing the ball to Carson Beck, we saw the offense start to explode, start to come together. And the team was even playing with more energy, which that's what happens when it's not just stagnant, slow, run through the A-gap with not Mark Fletcher, he's been out, but of course, Shamar Brown or whoever it is, it's just slow, stagnant offense. You know, those big plays give us energy on both ends of the ball. And we've seen, our two losses that came against ACC teams that we should have beat. Then going into we were double-digit favorites. I think that's the issue. My theory is the first four games of the season, we came out hot. We came out with energy. We came out with big plays. we didn't always have big plays, but we came out with way more big plays than we've been seeing against with these losses against SMU and Louisville. We had a much more aggressive offense, much more energetic offense. My theory is, first game of the season, Notre Dame, rivalry game, big game, prime time, standalone game. They're gonna have energy. The Rock was rocking. The players are gonna come out playing with energy. And then we had Bethune-Cookman, that doesn't count. But USF, that's another ranked game. They are coming off a big Florida win, and it's another in-state school. So I feel like that also gave them more energy. Then Florida and FSU, those are two huge rivalry games, so they played with energy there. But when you get to the Louisville and the SMU, where you play those ACC teams that don't really have too much to the game besides just going to get another win, there's no rivalry, there's no real true intensity in those games, or added intensity in those games. We've came out stale. And same thing with Stanford and Syracuse. We came out stale. The score 35, 38 points, 42 points, that doesn't matter. We came out stale. And NC State is not a Syracuse. They're not a Stanford. They're not. They're a better team. They beat Virginia. They beat Georgia Tech by hanging 48 on them. They're much better than the bottom of the barrel Syracuse and Stanford ACC teams. We need to come out with the energy, and I think we could find something with us being number 15th, with us having a true shot. I feel like we can be able to rally that offense to play with more energy and knowing that they can make the playoffs if they just win the game and win it pretty handily. That's also important, winning the game handily. But first, you got to win the game, and I hope this newfound hope or bigger hope with what happened last week with UVA and Louisville losing and us getting a boost in the rankings, jumping Georgia Tech, I hope that we could play with more energy, knowing that we for sure, if we win out, we have a true shot at making the playoffs. Maybe that's just a fan thing. I don't think the players really paid too much attention for that. Carson Beck didn't even know what we were ranked early in the week. So the reporters had to tell him. But that's just how I see it. And I see that we really, and I say that we really, really need a offense to come out, passing the ball, airing it out. Malachi Tony, 30-yard reception. CJ, just march down there, pass plays, get a touchdown, come out scoring in the first quarter. That's what we need. That's what we need against this team, all right? The defense is going to hold their own, but at times it's going to show the thinness at DB that we're going to have this game. It's going to be apparent at some point somewhere in the game, and I expect NC State to be able to put up points. But the Miami Hurricanes need to put up points, and they need to show also their defense that what they're doing matters. Because if the offense isn't scoring and the defense is consistently getting stops, it wears on the defense. The defense is like, what's the point? We're working this hard for their offense to come out and do nothing and give us 3 minutes of rest? No. So that's also why we need this offense to keep going. And I feel like a broken record. Every week you come out here and say the offense, the offense, the offense, the offense. And I liked more so what we got going in that second half of Syracuse, and I hope it carries over. The same thing I said with the Stanford one. I hope it carries over to SMU. It didn't. So now with the Syracuse one, I have to say the same thing. I hope it carries over. This offense gives me concerns, but I think the Miami Hurricanes are still going to get the win. And I think they will come out more aggressive in the passing game. But other than that, we'll come back with a real preview to the game tomorrow on Friday. Other than that, got nothing else for you. But in the preview, we'll go over the injuries. Let's give you my score, my prediction, and all that good stuff. Other than that, let's go Canes.